name is Glenn Gunter. I'm the president of the NorDel Model Railroad Club. We refer to it as NorDel, but it's the Northern Delaware Model Railroad Club. The club was founded in 1993 by two guys that had an interest in railroading and model railroading. They put an ad in the paper, because that's what we did back then. We didn't have social media. And they were expecting a half dozen, maybe 10 people to show up. And they got almost 30 people to attend this meeting for the club. Quickly, they organized. They made the rules. They just basically got their charter going, and they quickly started looking for layout space. Because of the, as you know, the model railroad community, a developer and builder named Matt Minker was a train fan, and he developed this complex along with the Frawley Stadium, which is the Delaware Blue Rocks. And he had this space here. It's about 450 square feet, and it was not being used. It was just open attic space. So the club pulled some of their money and started actually that December a train show at the Cranston Heights Fire Hall, which then put them into enough money to start building. They put plywood floors down. A couple of the boys were electricians, so they put electricity in, drywall, drop ceilings, and they were ready to start their layout. Planning committee got together. They ran a CAD program. They ran it through the committees and the membership, and they agreed on this two-tier multi-level layout. They then agreed on the kind of the history of it. This was supposed to be a bridge line between the larger railroads, the B&O, the Pensy, and as you go further south, the Norfolk and Western, Southern railroads like that. And construction began. The main yard is Hagerstown, and that's where mainly the switching takes place. And the Northern Delaware Railroad is supposed to be a fictional, as I say, the bridge line, but we also had traffic rights over the B&O pretty much from Wilmington, Delaware, down through Maryland into Hagerstown, and that's where we branched off towards the Winchester and Strasburg, Virginia. The primary commodity for the railroad is coal coming out of the Virginia regions, and we do have a port of Wilmington where we can take things on a ferry across to, for example, the DuPont experimental stations over there, or they can bring things over. The New Jersey Central could bring stuff and interchange with us at the port. We interchange out of Strasburg with the Southern Railroad. From Hagerstown, we'll go around, and we have a locomotive repair and shop facility. We cross the Potomac River, and we head on down south, or we call it east and west. If you're heading south, you're going west. If you're heading north, you're going east. Other railroads call it north and south if they're going east and west. So we do run some passenger service from Wilmington south. Occasionally we'll get some special express trains coming through. Often we have a seaboard coming up through Florida up to New York and vice versa, depending on the weather. NorDel does have a small passenger line. We just started a branch into Middletown, since we are a fictional railroad, for our peach traffic. Delaware is known for its peaches, so we're going to have traffic from Middletown, Delaware, up to the port for export. Our industries, we have a couple of quarries. We do have a coal mine, and there in Strasburg that we service. Local industries throughout. We have a couple of breweries. We do have a coal-fired plant underneath our Hagerstown facility. That's Rising Sun. There's also a stone and asphalt plant that's serviced by the railroad. The railroad has a mixed fleet. We can do diesel or steam era, or a mixed era. There for a while, the club was getting older, the membership was getting older, and they wanted to go more steam. We got a influx of younger members, and we were back to both steam and diesel, with the younger guys looking more for the newer diesel. Now, I'm a former CSX employee, and always tease the guys with Norfolk Southern stuff that you can't run that stuff on the railroad. So we always have some nice arguments about that. All the scenery was done by members. The most of it is plaster of Paris over paper towels. There are some hills made out of foam, you know, your blue construction foam. The main line is about a 400-foot run. As I said, the length is about 35 feet by 13 feet wide, and we do have 2 tiers. We've had some changes from the original idea of the layout. The Strasburg was originally going to be an entire section that was going to deal with logging activities, and through some how things work in the club with politics and people not getting along, that was shot down. So now we have the Strasburg, Virginia. We have a little town there. We have a passenger station and a freight station, coaling, and a little engine house, which again interchanges with our Southern Railroad counterparts. All the kits are either scratch built, or we do have some nice wooden kits. The Delaware limestone and rock. Our coaling tower were all handmade out of wood by a former member that was really known for boat building, and it did a terrific job. In fact, our Hagerstown yard office is actually a wooden structure. Operating sessions, we have any number of jobs depending on how many people come up. We have one job that just switches the Hagerstown yard. We have 1 or 2 passenger trains that run. We have Strasburg coal drag. We have a job that just works the mine. We have a couple of locals, you know, for whatever people want to run. If they just want to run in circles, we have jobs for that. If they want to do switching, we have jobs for that. We have a bridge that was built by a couple of former members. It's supposed to represent going over the Potomac River. It used to actually work, but we found that we never used it, so we just anchored it down. We've constantly having to warn people about duck when you come under the bridge. One season we found that we were having a ton of derailments, and we looked and we found that at each end of the bridge we had a scale 3-foot gap, and that was causing our derailments. So we just anchored the bridge, ran through rail all the way, straight rail all the way through, and that eliminated a lot of our derailments. In the back we have a rather large helix that takes us from top to bottom and top to bottom. And we found sometimes during our open houses that our trains would get caught in the back room because it is such a long run, and we wouldn't have any trains running out in the main room. So we had to kind of pay attention to where trains were so that we'd keep people occupied. All right, today we're going to follow the Strasburg coal drag, led by engine number 370. We're going to head east, and we're going to take it to the Port of Wilmington for export. So as we depart Strasburg, we're heading east, and we're going to have to cross over and take us into Winchester. Now, Winchester is in the back staging area, and we'll do a loop and come back around past the original Strasburg over the Potomac River Bridge. As we cross the Potomac River Bridge, we'll pass the Hagerstown car shops, engine facility, and we'll enter West Hagerstown, which is right there by the classification yard. As we proceed east, we pass the Hagerstown passenger station, and enter East Hagerstown. When we depart East Hagerstown, we enter the back room, which is our helix. And we'll take the helix down. Union Mills is one of the fictional towns that we stop at, allegedly on the helix. That'll bring us down and around to Conowingo. Conowingo has a small yard for interchange and storage for the few industry we have there. We have a small station, a fruit and produce, and a small quarry. Continuing east, we'll come to Rising Sun. Rising Sun is represented by a small town and a gasworks and asphalt facility. As we depart Rising Sun, we'll come to East Newark, and we have a passenger station there and one industry, which is a brewery. Departing Newark, we'll head back into the helix, and it'll take us around into Wilmington. We'll go past the Wilmington train station, around the town of Wilmington, and into the East Wilmington industrial area and Cherry Island. All right, so when we go past Wilmington back into the back room, we'll do a reverse, and we're coming right back past Newark and rerunning the layout again. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the layout visit. Thanks again for coming.